Hey y'all, what's up? Welcome back to my channel, or if this is your first time here, welcome. My name is Mel, and this is going to be the second video in my Palette of the Week series. I will have the introduction to the series linked up in the cards above if you're curious as to what this is and why I'm starting it. But otherwise, we're just gonna jump straight in. So the palette that I had picked for this week is the Too Faced Chocolate Bonbons palette. And I have to say, I'm really glad that I chose to focus on this palette this week. I had a lot of fun with it, which is kind of surprising because I think it is actually still probably my least favorite of the chocolate bar palettes. But I did sort of, I think, learn to appreciate it a little bit better than I had in the past. And this may be, totally basic, but I actually went back to the how-to glamour guide that comes with this palette. Am I the only one that keeps and uses these, or do y'all just like throw these away when you get them? But yeah, so I decided to break this out and use it. And so three of the days that I used this palette this week, I think I used it I guess I just used it 4 times this week. The rest of the time I was using my Pan Nut palette, and I did also get a couple new palettes this week because things were on good sales. But yeah, so for the 4 days that I used it, 3 of the 4, I went back to this glamour guide. Did the first look, which was a bronze chocolate look, and then the second one is called Sugar Smoke, which breaks out that Earl Grey color. And then the third one is Balm Babe, which mostly focuses on the black currant and the Totally Fetch. So I like to think that palettes are put together for a reason, that, some thought is put into them, that there's not just a bunch of random shades slapped together and kind of call it a day and put it out there, although I'm sure there's plenty of that too. But that's why I wanted to go back to this glamour guide and see how the makers of the palette had maybe intended for it to be used, or looks that they had in their head when they put all of these shades together, that the shades, I'd like to work on the assumption, I guess, that the shades weren't put together randomly, that there was sort of thought in order into the palette. And so that was how, utilizing this glamour guide, I thought would be important. So the first look was Bronze Chocolate, and that uses satin sheets, mocha, molasses chip, and Bordeaux. So satin sheets, of course, is this big one here. Bordeaux is the sort of slightly red-brown one here. What else did we say? Mocha, which is just this light brown here, and molasses chip, which is this shimmer, sort of brown gold, bronze gold, whatever shade there. So that was fine. That was a fun look. Nothing special to it, but a good, sort of solid brown look, which is always nice. The other two, though, there's a look called Sugar Smoke and one called Bon Babe. And Sugar Smoke is the one that utilized Earl Grey. This is actually the look that I was wearing in my makeup I Don't Like That Everybody Else Loves video, which again we'll have linked up there. So this look, again, uses satin sheets, sort of as you're all over, from crease to brow. And then we have Pecan Praline, which is this light gray down here in your crease, sort of as a transition color, I guess. And then would have used Cafe au Lait, which is this sort of, silvery, sparkly color here on the inner part of your lid, and then Earl Grey on the outer part of the lid. And so that was really fun. Again, Earl Grey to me does not look nearly as blue out of the pan as it does inside. So it was really just sort of more of this like smoky gray look going on that I liked. Again, it just sort of gave me, I think, okay, here's a way that I could use this color now. Whereas sort of the looks that I had tried before, I was never like really super happy with it. So that was fun to discover. But even better was the Bon Babe, which used Divinity as sort of an all-over and then you put Black Currant in the inner and outer parts of your lid, and then Totally Fetch in the center, and then Almond Truffle, this shade up here, as your transition in your crease to sort of tie everything together and blend out, you know, so you don't have these harsh purple and pink lines up there. And then just a little bit of Divinity again in your inner quarters, and Black Currant also smudged out on the lower lash line. And I adored that look. I thought it was so much fun. You do have to build up Black Currant and Totally Fetch. Same thing with Earl Grey. I mean, it's Too Faced, you know, so Too Faced idea of bright colors look very bright in the pan. You usually have to build up quite a bit to see that same sort of color payoff on your lids. So, you know, if that's something that bothers you, obviously you're not going to like Too Faced colored shadows all that much, but personally it doesn't bother me all that much. I'd rather go light with the color and have to build up versus put on, you know, too much pigment initially and then either be blending for days or just be stuck with a look that I don't like. So that doesn't bother me, just, you know, kind of, you got to know going into it that you are going to have to build up the shades. But that was definitely hands down my favorite look that I did this week. I'm working from home right now, so I kind of had the ability to play around with the bright shades and, you know, not have to worry like, was it work appropriate or whatnot. So that was a lot of fun. But, you know, at the same time, I'm not going to be all that sad to put this one to the side for a little bit and move on to something else. And so that brings up my palette of the week for next week, or this next week. We'll start off using this one probably tomorrow, and that is my Meet Matte Nude palette from the Balm. This is actually the only product from the Balm that I own. I got this at Nordstrom Rack at some point over the summer when this was on sale. I think it was like May, maybe early June. So that's what this looks like inside. It is an all matte palette. The colors are really, really beautiful though. I think this is one of those palettes that seeing the colors in the pan really don't do justice. This Matte Abdul and Matte Hung turn into be a really pretty purple look, which you don't necessarily, or at least I wasn't expecting them to look as pretty as they did out of the pan, because they look sort of, I don't know, just muted and subdued in here. I love Matt Johnson. I think that is a great blue. I get a lot of compliments every time I wear this. First couple times it happened, I was like, really? It's just the Balm. But you know, hey, they make good products. So I haven't used this in quite a while. I was trying to think about it when I was going through my shadow collection yesterday and deciding what I was going to pull out for this week, and I couldn't remember the last time I had used this palette. It's probably like August or September, but I really don't remember, and that has been way too long. So that was the reason I decided to pull this one for this week. So yeah, that's what I'll be doing for the next week. As you know, as I've mentioned before, I am panning a palette for 2018, so I won't be using this palette every day, but I would like to use it at least 4 or 5 times this week. I'd like to get maybe a little bit more use out of it than I did out of the bonbons last week. I'm not planning on any makeup purchases this week, so I won't have anything new competing for its attention. So we definitely should get some good use out of this. Again, it's a good solid matte palette that I just always enjoy using. It's not anything, I think maybe super exciting, you know, that you get like super, you know, kind of got the crazy colorful looks going with this one this past week, whereas this one is just a more just sort of day-to-day nice matte, you know, kind of neutral, but there is the blue and the purple pops in there, which are fun as well. So anyway, I'm going to quit rambling now and we will wrap this up. But if you haven't already done so, that you will hit that subscribe button down below. Come back and check out the rest of this series and the rest of my channel. And until next time, yeah, have a great day, and I will talk to you later. Bye.